Hello everybody, welcome back for another video. Hope you're all doing well and that you are all having a fantastic day. To start things off, social media giant Facebook is apparently set to roll out its own cryptocurrency called GlobalCoin in 2020, according to a report from the BBC. The news and broadcasting organization said on Friday that Facebook is planning to launch the cryptocurrency-based payment system in a dozen countries by the first quarter of 2020 and is looking to start trials by the end of this year. Facebook has also apparently sought for advice from officials of the U.S. Treasury and the Bank of England Governor Mark Carney regarding opportunities and regulatory issues for the initiative, which is initially referred to as Project Libra. More details about Facebook's crypto plans are expected to be revealed in the coming months, the report said. The news comes amid recent reports that Facebook has been in talks with payment firms including Western Union, Visa, and MasterCard to back and fund its planned fiat-based cryptocurrency. The project is said to be developing a cryptocurrency helping Facebook's billions of users transfer money to each other and to make online purchases. On the 2nd of May, Facebook registered a new entity called Libra Networks in Geneva, which will provide financial and technology services and develop related hardware and software. So the news that we had initially was that Facebook was going to be creating their own cryptocurrency. I think we had this news at the beginning of this year, and then we heard that it was, well, rather we were speculating that it was going to be called Facebook Coin, and then apparently we thought it was going to be called Libra Coin when we saw that there was an actual they were trying to register that name Libra, and now apparently the coin is going to be called GlobalCoin. If that is the real name, good luck to them. It sounds absolutely horrible. Maybe they'll change it by some time they're actually doing the initial rollout. There's a lot of stuff happening behind the scenes with this, and I think that we're not getting the entire picture. This is at least how I feel about it. The fact that a major entity like Facebook is trying to do this leads me to believe that they're trying to more or less pull an Amazon, and that is, for those who don't know or those who are completely unaware, Amazon started out as like a library almost type thing. They were just selling books, and eventually they became this massive entity, and Amazon pretty much almost controls the entire world. Not even a joke. And the growth and the largeness that Facebook has at the current moment, they've positioned themselves to be able to. And I really fear what they're trying to do, because I assume that they may say that they have good intentions, but we've seen exactly what's been happening with Facebook, at least over the last 2 years, especially when they've sat before many governments around the world and they've been asked questions and exactly what are you doing and how much data do you have on each individual person. And they keep claiming ignorance, but we know for, I don't want to say a fact, it is alleged that they may be using it not only for advertising purposes, but also to kind of gather data on individual people around the world. As they get more people onto their platform, they gather more information about them, facial recognition, where they live, what they're doing, who they're with, how long they've been with that person, where they're traveling to, signing in. It gets a little crazy. So the fact that they're trying to create their own, or are creating their own payment platform, which they make it sound like it's, going to be used as really convenient for you and your family to send money back and forth, and you can send money to your friends around the world, but it also creates this huge hyperlink between everything that you do, everything that you buy. And I can only assume that along with the launch of a cryptocurrency on their platforms, as they own multiple different platforms, that they'll probably also try to create their own web store. And that's where I think it even gets more personal, because in my opinion, and I mean just logically speaking, if you'll be able to spend the coin on their platform and then they make their own marketplace, kind of a mix between Amazon and or eBay and or whatever other place you buy your stuff, they'll then know your address as they're sending stuff to you, and they'll know who you're sending. They'll know what you're buying. It becomes a very dystopian thing very, very quick. There were a lot of, I listened to something before, and they were talking about what, it was a cryptocurrency podcast, can't remember the name of which one, but they were talking about what they believe might be the future of Facebook to be, and it was something dark, and then it kind of became good. It was that Facebook would be so marred and muddied by all the controversial things that they've been doing over the last years, that eventually they'll kind of pull back and they'll create something along the lines of like a Facebook media, where pretty much they will claim, or rather they will try to become more decentralized, but in the same exact time they'll make sure that they're still gathering all of your data. A lot of people think this way, that Facebook will relatively soon or the next year or so, because they've had too many governmental conversations about collecting data, that they'll probably change what they are as a corporation relatively soon. They'll still remain the same old shady Facebook as they've been before. But now they're probably going to try and move in a different direction, not only to gain more revenue, but to establish themselves even further as a world power. I mean, when you create your own currency and you're trying to roll it out to billions of people, that is more power than many countries around the world actually have. Anyway, so as of right now, it's apparently going to be called GlobalCoin. We'll probably get more news about this as time goes on. We can only hope at this point, and I mean this in all honesty, that Bitcoin's price kind of skyrockets before the end of this year, or even before this thing is actually rolled out, and it kind of takes away attention from the thing that Facebook is going to do, and or that eventually the people from Coinbase or whatever they're on Facebook eventually maybe decide to also integrate other cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum, onto their platform also as payment methods. I think that's a bit grayer, because especially if they're talking to tons of officials and stuff around the world from major banks and treasuries, et cetera, they're probably only going to focus on this coin for a long amount of time. And not to be mean, but we know how the general population tends to act when certain things like this happen. A lot of people will definitely jump on this and brag about it. And yeah, it'll definitely become a thing, but just a matter of how large it will become. Here's the actual BBC article where they're talking about the future launch of GlobalCoin in 2020. Next up, Tether is in the news yet again. Stablecoin issuer Tether said that it had invested some of its revenues in Bitcoin, according to a court filing obtained by tech-focused media outlet The Block on the 21st of May, and I'll explain exactly why that is important. Per the document dated the 16th of May, David Miller, an attorney from Tether's associate firm Bitfinex, said that Tether invested a small amount of Tether's reserves into Bitcoin, specifying that prior to the 24th of April order, Tether actually did invest in instruments beyond cash and cash equivalents, including Bitcoin. They bought Bitcoin. Miller further said that Tether made other investments, including purchasing other assets, end quote. In response to Miller's statement, New York Supreme Court Judge Joel M. Cohen, doubted the logic of investing a stablecoin into a volatile asset like Bitcoin. He said, Tether sounded to me like a sort of calm in the storm of cryptocurrency trading. And so if Tether is backed by Bitcoin, how is that consistent? If some of your assets are in a volatile currency that Tether is supposed to somehow modulate, that seems like it's playing into what you're saying. As previously reported, the New York Attorney General's office alleged that crypto exchange Bitfinex lost $850 million and subsequently used funds for Tether to secretly cover the shortfall. Without even going reading any further, backtracking, the New York Attorney General announced about 3 weeks ago that they believe that the people from Bitfinex had lost $850 million and had used funds from their Tether stablecoin that they were printing in order to back up their losses. And then we also had news 2 weeks later, or rather a week later, that the people from Bitfinex had started their own cryptocurrency token. I think it's called Leo, and they had raised $1 billion, which I think was also very suspect because they lost $850 million allegedly, and then raised $1 billion. And then also the other thing that's very important to talk about here is that in 2017, a lot of people were kind of coming to the conclusion that for some reason, a lot of Tether were being created or produced or printed, exactly which word you want to use. Go for it. They were usually making around $200 million every single time new Tether were being printed, and the people realized that on some exchanges where Tether was allowed, that the Bitcoin price on those exchanges and then subsequently on other exchanges were also going up. It's because a lot of people believed, allegedly, that the people from Tether and Bitfinex were printing Tether without an actual money-backed reserve, and they were simply buying up Bitcoin to fill their own pockets. And this is why the logic of them buying Bitcoin with Tether doesn't make any sense, especially because 3 or 4 months ago, the people from Tether announced that they were tired of people trying to audit them. That is to say, people were like, hey, you have 2.8 billion Tether. Can you at least show that you have $2.8 billion in the bank, as each Tether is supposed to be backed 1-to-1 by the US dollar? The people from Bitfinex And Tether then came forward and said, yeah, we have some of the money, but not all of it. And people said, what do you mean not all of the money? And they said, well, a large part of our Tether are actually backed up by other assets. And people were like, okay, what other assets? So people believe that it could have been gold and silver, property, land, whatever other asset you may have out there that you're thinking of, putting on a one-to-one basis with Tether. And as these assets rise in value, therefore, you're able to print more Tether. But we have news now that they apparently invested a small amount of Tether into Bitcoin. Part of the problem is I'm going to assume myself that with $2.8 billion worth of Tether printed, they probably didn't just invest 50,000. It was probably a substantial amount, especially I would assume a couple $1 million into actual Bitcoin as well. Yeah, it's I don't know. I really they're in the news every single day. I'm still surprised nonstop by the amount of people in the world who are still using Tether. I believe, because of everything that we've been hearing, that something is not right with Tether. Something is amiss. Something's not adding up, as it were. Especially because they won't let people to really see exactly what's going on. And we keep getting news every day, every other day about Tether and Bitfinex and how like their assets aren't lining up. They keep printing more Tether. Every time they were printing Tether, the price of Bitcoin was going up because they were probably buying, allegedly, Bitcoin for themselves. And now we know for a fact that they were buying Bitcoin, which people were alleging in 2017. The saddest part is that people are going to continue using Tether because humans are gluttons for punishment, and they continue doing stuff until they're burned, and then they get upset when they're actually burned. It's the same exact thing that happened with BitConnect. Not saying that Tether is BitConnect, but you understand what I'm saying. Something is wrong. Something's not right. Allegedly, purportedly, Attorney General, yada, yada, yada. Let's move on. Next up, Coinbase is in the news. Coinbase Commerce, the cryptocurrencies exchanges payments offering, exchange and merchants payment offering, there we go, has added support for the dollar-pegged stablecoin USD coin. The development means businesses can now receive payments in USDC from customers in minutes with zero transaction fees and no chargebacks. Coinbase announced in a blog post on Monday. Unlike accepting credit card payments, merchants can accept USD coin without geographical limitations or the need for a traditional bank account. The firm said Coinbase Commerce was launched in February 2018 and offers support for Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, Ether, and Litecoin payments alongside the new USDC. I think this is the second or third, I want to say third, stablecoin that Coinbase has added to their platform. I told you guys before, I'm not going to repeat it too much again. Coinbase already has a banking license, and I'm pretty sure that because of my theory about the stablecoins being used by banks in the near future, Coinbase, Gemini, and I want to say even Binance are setting themselves up to be the banks of the future. That is to say, cryptocurrency banks kind of way. And this is why I think Coinbase has been adding new coins, or rather new stablecoins, to their platform as of late, because they're also trying to make sure that they stay ahead of the game as far as what Gemini and the people from Flexa and Spedden, SPEDN, have been doing, where they're allowing Whole Foods, so and so to be able to accept cryptocurrencies. Coinbase obviously does not want to miss out on this because they're probably going to make a lot of money as the future of cryptocurrencies continues to grow. That was a horrible sentence, but you know what I'm trying to say. Next up, the Japanese House of Representatives has passed new crypto regulation in the upper house of the National Diet. I don't think that is a typo. I'm going to say National Diet. Local news agency Nikkei reported on the 21st of May. The lower house has reportedly moved crypto-related amendments to the existing financial law to the House of Councilors at a recent plenary session. According to Nikkei, the amendments to two of Japan's financial laws, the Financial Instruments and Exchange Act and Payment Services Act, intended to strengthen local regulations on cryptocurrency trading processes. The amendments reportedly extend the regulation by adding legislation for cryptocurrency margin trading. The new law also includes a change of crypto-related terminology, altering the term virtual currencies to crypto assets, as many countries around the world do not care for the fact that the word currency is attached to cryptocurrencies. So now they're trying to call them crypto assets, especially as we move more into a future where traditional assets are going to be digitized. And this is why they're trying to kind of have a blanket over the entire thing, because they want to be able to have some type of regulatory control over what's going to end up happening. Japan and South Korea were major players in the cryptocurrency space in 2017. I expect that they're going to be doing so again. And this is why I think thus far, especially from Japan, at least in Japan, I think we're going to be seeing far more favorable regulations. They were pretty lax with it before, but what happened is at the beginning of last year, there was a major hack on a Japanese cryptocurrency exchange. Regulators completely lost their minds, and it's a lot more strengthened, if you will. But this is yet again rather another country who has come forward telling us that they're going to be passing crypto regulations because everyone sees exactly what's coming, and nobody wants to miss the profit storm. That is to say, when people are making millions and they're not declaring it on their taxes, governments don't want that, so they're making sure that there are plans and rules in place before the prices completely go insane. Next up, CME Group, the second global exchange to list Bitcoin futures, is about to record the biggest trading month for Bitcoin trading futures. Industry news outlet The Block reported on the 21st of May. The publication has reportedly cited data from an external email from CME. The Chicago Mercantile Exchange purportedly revealed that the average daily Bitcoin futures trading volume hit a new high of 14,000 contracts solely in May 2019 alone. To date, May 13th has reportedly become the biggest trading day for CME Bitcoin futures, with the platform having registered 33,000 contracts worth $1.35 billion in Bitcoin at the time. That is insane. The exchange also revealed that the number of Bitcoin trading futures accounts has hit more than 2,500 in the report. CME has also summarized its total Bitcoin futures trading results, claiming that the exchange has traded more than 1.6 million contracts since it launched in December 2017, which accounts for over $50 billion in notional value. There was another article, and I don't have it in here, and I realized right now as I was reading through that I should have actually had it in there. Apparently, what's been happening is quite interesting in the cryptocurrency space. Even the Bitcoin futures trading aside, that's also another entity by itself. A lot of numbers are coming forward, and people are realizing on different cryptocurrency exchanges that we are actually past the volume that we had in 2017 was astronomical, was amazing, it was insane. Where the prices are currently, certain cryptocurrencies have already passed by that volume, the all-time high volume that we had in 2017, which is leading a lot of people to believe that the fervor, the energy is back with a vengeance in the cryptocurrency space, and that a lot of people are expecting allegedly in the future the cryptocurrency space to have really dramatic jumps in volume relatively soon because of the things that we know that are launching, the energy that's kind of back in the cryptocurrency space. Even just them reporting that May is going to be their biggest month ever, even as Bitcoin is hovering near the $8,000 area, is completely insane. Yeah, I should have had the other article. Anyway, the point is that we are the numbers that we had in 2017, we've already reached them or surpassed them in certain cases as far as the volume. And this is a very good indication of where the future of cryptocurrencies are going to go, especially if we end up having an actual bull run. That means Bitcoin's volume could anywhere from triple to quadruple, which is every single time that we have huge amounts of volume, it usually implies that people are buying up. And if we have 4 times the amount of people that we have right now who are also buying up Bitcoin, this is where we get those crazy numbers coming from. Rather, that is, the $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 Bitcoin by this year, which is, I want to say, is a possibility. We don't know yet. We'll see as the year kind of goes on. Japan is once again in the news. Yeah, this kind of also ties into it. Japanese cryptocurrency exchanges have seen new account openings increase up to 200% in the past 2 months. This was reported by Cointelegraph Japan on the 22nd of May. Data obtained from 3 major trading platforms, BitPoint, DMM Bitcoin, and CoinCheck, pointed to a significant increase in interest from entry-level investors since the end of March. The change in habits among those who assumedly did not use cryptocurrency before highlights the impact of rising prices on consumer interest, which rose in step with the return of a bull market across the industry. Daily account openings for Bitpoint were 3 times as high in May as for March and twice more than April. DMM saw openings double those in March and 1.5 those in April, while CoinCheck likewise saw openings treble. I assume that's supposed to be triple in May compared to March. This is happening all over the world. It's very interesting. I'm pretty sure I mentioned before, I've noticed my friends and family are sending me messages again or asking me what's happening with Bitcoin because they see that the Bitcoin that they bought in 2017 has been going back up in price. So I'm pretty sure a lot of you are receiving these messages as well. It's a very interesting, different landscape. In 2017, we didn't have many places to be able to buy or sell cryptocurrency. Selling cryptocurrency was kind of one of the worst issues that we had. It was very easy to buy it or obtain it or hold it, but to be able to sell it, a lot of people had their bank accounts closed. A lot of cryptocurrency exchanges didn't even have like a sell option. It was kind of like, you can buy it from us, we can hold it on our platform. It was just really, really weird. I think it was only like, it was Kraken, Coinbase, and other name that kind of allowed that. Anyway, so now we have at least 150 plus different cryptocurrency exchanges around the world. So I assume this is also leading to the movement that's been happening behind the scenes, because so many people have been opening up new accounts. I know a couple of friends, more than I can count on one hand, really, who have been buying up portions of Bitcoin and all this other stuff, and they've been buying XRP and Ether. They're staying towards the larger names, which I find wonderful that they're not buying into all these other coins, because there was definitely a situation a year and a half ago where I was telling people, hey, you should probably just be looking into XRP, Ether, and Bitcoin if you're very new to the space. And I know more than a couple people lost a couple $1,000 and euros because they were buying into crap. Anyway, let's move on to kind of finish things up. Fraudsters have been adding fake cryptocurrency wallets to Google Play Store in an attempt to cash in on the rising Bitcoin price. ESET antivirus researchers said on the 23rd of May, one malicious app imitated the hardware wallet known as Trezor, and the investigation found that the software had ties to another fake app that had the potential to scam unsuspecting users out of money. While the app's page on Google Play looked legitimate, the researchers said the software itself contains no Trezor branding at all, with a generic login screen phishing for credentials. According to ESET, or ESET, more than 1,000 people have downloaded that app. Although it claimed to enable its customers to create wallets for storing their crypto, the software was allegedly designed to trick them into transferring coins to addresses owned by the attackers. The researchers warned, if Bitcoin continues its growth trend, we can expect more cryptocurrency scam apps to emerge in the official app store and elsewhere. This is just a warning to everyone out there. The most logical places as of right now to hold your cryptocurrencies are hardware wallets. That is to say, either a Trezor or a Nano. Whatever you choose, get your stuff from a legitimate place. Go to their actual website. If you plan on downloading Exodus, don't do it from the app. Like, do things from the actual websites. It's the safest, most secure way. You can even go to their Twitter account, and then they have a link to their actual website, and then download it from there. People on Twitter and social media are far more likely to realize that there is a fake account floating around out there, and therefore they'll be able to call it out in person and say, hey, that's fake, don't use that. Download what's right and correct from the actual websites. This has been happening far too often. Is going to continue to happen. The fact that 1,000 people have downloaded this tells me that at least more than half of them have, put their cryptocurrency onto that wallet, which was only the wallet for the people who created the fake wallet in the first place. Take care of where you put your money, where you put your coins. I do not want anyone out there being upset in 3 years because they realize that they lost their coins, someone stole their coins, they no longer have access to their coins. The worst thing that could possibly happen is if you have half a Bitcoin, and Bitcoin in some miraculous world ends up going up to $10 million, and you realize that you lost $5 million because you downloaded a fake app. I do not want that to happen to anybody, so make sure you always know where your crypto is, where your cryptocurrencies are stored. And this also ties in as well when I say do your own research. It's not just about reading and finding out where prices are going to go. It's finding out about scams as well, so that you and your friends and your family also don't fall prey to them. Alrighty. As always, a very special thank you to my Patreon supporters: Professor Wally from Gunbot University, SC Versely Fine Art, Crypto and Beer Shipmate, Brady Niels, L. Doug, Jared Schneider, Wise Night Owl, Shaolin Fried Rice, Gil Bowl Snake, Crypto Joe, Mohair Maroney, Carl Birchenoff, singer-songwriter Mike Savitz, Rai Rai, Yasha Harari, Amy Starsheen, Jeffrey Ramsey, Crypnotic, Clara T. Snowden, Crypto Artist Cole D3D, Nicholas One Earth One Piece One Love, Setsuna, Nick Kanaya, Richie Rich the Third, RF Dusty, Cody, Vlad the Impaler, Paxis, Jeremy the Photographer, Jim Gardner, Minting Coins, Arthur Yaku, Nick Mangelavori, and Anthony Charles. Thank you all an incredible amount for your support. At the moment, prices are doing pretty okay. A couple of minutes ago, Bitcoin was, I think, at $8,003. So it's floating around the $8,000 mark again. We have already, as you can see right here, moved back up from that ridiculous move down in price that we had a couple of days ago, where someone allegedly, or rather we know they did, sold off a huge amount of Bitcoin in an attempt to push the price back down. The prices among the wider cryptocurrency market have been incredibly resilient. I want Litecoin to stay above 100, Ethereum to stay above 250. I mean, it's like teetering right here. XRP would be nice above 40 cents. I want to say even 42 cents. Having some difficulties as of late. It's nice to see that Cardano is doing pretty well. I think we can easily hit 10 cents relatively soon, especially if we end up getting some good Shelly news. Tron, I mean, I think it hit 3 cents before, but I'm assuming we'll probably hit, my assumption, around a good 4 cents before any like major upward movement. This is kind of where I said before in another video, I think we're probably going to see a 50-cent Tron or maybe a 75-cent Tron. A lot of people are calling for a $1 Tron, what have you. I hope you all enjoyed. Hope you all are having a great day, a great morning, a great afternoon, a great evening, wherever you are, wherever you might be. I hope it's absolutely fantastic. Thank you all once again for watching and listening. I do appreciate all of the support. I hope you guys find a way. Today's Friday, right? Wait, check my phone. Yep, it's Friday. Hope work goes by quickly. Hope your boss isn't there. If your boss is there, hope they leave early. Hope you get to leave early with pay. Can't think of any good scenarios, but even if you have to work the full day, go out afterwards and do something nice with your friends. Thank you all once again for watching and listening, and I will definitely talk to you all soon. See you.